It's like reading the
Texting. Happy Saturday night, America. Thought you weren't going to see us, were you? Never, ever underestimate the power of Yoda. Or Jobu or Betty, the redoubtable one himself, Tom Izzo, the highly questionable Roger Miliaccio, segment 1, all things pennant race, Chris Sale. We're going to start with the Boston Red Sox because Chris Sale, Mr. I get hurt, stepping on a banana peel, Mr. Hey, you know what? I have a leg in your dress. You go cycling. Mr. Chris Sale, in his first start back after 10 weeks on the DL, mind you, mowed down 10 weeks and comes in a situation where they need him and mows down the first 14 of them. 7 strikeouts, pitched 4 innings, was on a 45 pitch count, ended up throwing 58 pitches, 42 of them strikes. They were a 4-2.
He was on a 45 pitch count and they let him pitch 58
because he was slinging it.
In the day of the bubble wrap pitcher.
The bubble wrap pitcher.
That's big.
And Chris Sale is the definition of bubble wrap pitcher.
He is.
But he looks sharp. They looked, at least they did in game 1. Now look, we were just talking about this off air. We said before this stretch started, they had to go 5 and 2 minimum. They lost today 6-2, but they won last night. Sale did. Here's the thing I wanted to ask you: Sale starts, goes 4 1/3. When he walks out, they have a 4-2 lead. They win 5-2. Why didn't he get the win?
Because he didn't pitch 5 innings.
But he pitched more than anybody else.
Right. So in order for the starting pitcher to qualify for a win,
he has to go 5.
He's got to go 5.
I hate
it's the stupidest fucking because then some guy can come in for one batter and get the win.
That's what happens.
It's pathetic.
That's literally what happened.
One of the dumbest things ever.
This guy came in, I think faced 2 or 3 guys, did none of the work Sale did, and he got the win.
Ridiculous.
It's just bullshit.
But think about this. Or it could be like this. Let's say game's tied. A reliever comes in, throws 3 scoreless innings.
Yeah.
A guy comes in, right? So starter goes 5.
Yeah.
Reliever comes in, throws 3 scoreless. In comes the closer. He blows it in the top of the 9th. They win it in the bottom of the 9th, and the closer gets the win.
Yeah, that's even worse.
That's why people say wins and losses don't mean shit.
No, they don't. I mean, they
because
don't.
of
but
that.
I would have liked to have seen Sale get it because he pitched well, and they look at he literally, according to Alex Cora, they were going to wait another couple of days, and Sale went to him and said, I want to pitch now. I want to get in the series. I need to get back in this race. And Cora loved that. He's like, you want to go? He's like, I want to go against these guys. I want to pitch game 1. And he's like, all right. And he penciled him in. He said, all right. And he showed something. He responded. And so that's a good sign for the Red Sox. Now, they dropped it today, but Toronto still lost. So they're only 3 back. So we had talked about 5 and 2. If the Red Sox win tomorrow, 5 and 2. He's right where they.
Dude, you remember when you were emotional and you were like, they need to win all 7 of these. And
I said, hold on. 5 and 2 was the bare minimum.
Well, yeah, that's
which is what this would be. But look,
but again, you can't expect to sweep a 4-game and a 3-game. You want them to.
No.
But to go 3 out of 4.
But you know what though? If they had hit at all against the Royals, they would have taken all 4. They took 3 and didn't really hit the ball. That's what I can't understand. And the Royals pitching, they're ranked 28th in the fucking league. And you're in Fenway? Explain that.
I told you, though, the Royals are playing the best baseball they've played all year.
They're 42 games under 500.
And they've probably won a quarter of those games in the last 2 weeks.
And they're and they're still.
Oh, I know. But what I'm saying is they hadn't swept the team all year. Then they swept 2 in a row and went to see the Red Sox. Yeah. You know, so swept 2 in a row. 1 out of 3 from Philly.
From Philly, who's good.
Who's really good.
Really good.
Philly. Yeah. If the playoffs started right now, I'd pick Philly. That's how hot they are.
Over Atlanta.
I would pick Philly if they started right now. Now, a month and a half from now, we don't know, because there's still 45 games left.
All right.
So who knows?
I know where he's going with this, and by the way, he's not wrong. Because, again, it's all about when you get hot.
He's not wrong? You might as well say I don't disagree.
I don't disagree. Well, he's
not wrong. He's going to be our sister show one day.
Listen, this was my point about I don't disagree. I say something. It's not about trying to piss you off.
No, I know.
But the point is that it's a team gets hot at the right time, to his point, and they can go on a run.
Fuck yeah.
And I'll tell you why he's right. Yeah, they right now might be but you're looking at what Atlanta's doing. Atlanta hasn't cooled off.
That's true.
Atlanta hasn't even cooled off.
Well, no.
Atlanta, what they're doing.
A little bit.
What I saw today.
Well, Philly's only 10 back. At one point this year, Atlanta was
I
fucking
don't doubt
17 games
Philly is
up.
playing their best baseball of the season, and they might indeed be the hottest team in the league right now. But the team he's talking about them running into, the wall, isn't going anywhere. And they're not really in a slump, or they've been consistent. Okay, Philly's been up and down. These guys have been consistent. But I'm not saying, again, I don't disagree. There you go. There you want me to say that. I disagree.
Going into last night, the Braves had
say,
9 straight games with like 10 hits.
I would say this.
That's insane.
I would say this. If I would say this. This is fair. And I've been watching Philly too. He's again, I don't disagree with him. The thing is, if I were to pick the NL Finals, I'd pick those two to get there.
Yeah.
I'd say those two. I think that Philly could beat the Dodgers right now.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers are playing well, but I think Philly could beat them. Philly, I think, is playing better than the Dodgers right now. I agree with you there. I do.
Dude, Trey Turner hasn't done a damn thing all year, and he commits an error about a week ago in the postgame. Looks like he's gonna. I mean, it looked like if he went home, somebody should go with him. He looked that depressed.
He was on suicide watch.
He was like, "This whole game is on me." They come home from Miami, and Philly fans, I tell you, they're on Twitter telling, "Hey, what if?" Next home game, when Trey Turner comes to the plate, we give him a standing O.
That is
Philadelphia
very
fans.
Philly-like.
And I hate Philly fans.
That's pretty cool.
But they fucking did it.
That's pretty cool.
And since they've done that, the guys hitting like 340.
Don't tell me fans don't matter. And don't tell me they don't have an impact, because they do. Larry Bird used to talk about it, okay? And I've heard other athletes say it too. I heard Kobe say it once. I've heard other athletes talk about the
energy.
The energy that you feel it.
If
and it's
they
true.
turned
You
him
do
around,
you do feel
and
it.
they fucking ride this
Yeah.
wave,
Yeah.
that's
I remember. I can tell
give
you
them credit.
From my own personal experience, that my junior year went to the Boston Garden. We were the number 1 seed South, and Durfee came in. Durfee was the 2-time defending state champs. They had won like 15 state tournament games in a row. The atmosphere in that gym that night, holy shit! I've never felt anything like that. They knew, and Durfee was like, this is where, and they were. It was this is where Durfee's run ends. The variant's going to put them down. It was all over the place. And we had my gym held between 800 and 900 people. There were almost 2,000 people in the gym that night. There were almost 2,000 packed into that gym. There was security. It was ridiculous. It was like watching Game 7, 84 against the Lakers when they had cops on the edge of at the end when the Suns were. It was like that.
But there was like 20,000.
It was at that. But I'm saying there was like 2,000 people in a 800 seated gym for that, because Durfee's run was about to end, and their greatest player ever, Mike Heron, was in there. He got taken out by the cops because he got in a riot. It was crazy shit happened. And I'm telling you right now, we came out of that tunnel. We came out of that tunnel, and you could feel it.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. I've never felt, and if you're an athlete and you've ever experienced, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So to his point about these Philly fans, kudos to them. And I never thought I'd say that, because honestly, this guy was down. You saw it on his face like he did. And you're like, you know what? This ain't the time to crush the guy. This is time to pick him up. And you guys figured. And kudos to you for doing that.
And look at it. And now he's got confidence. Yeah. He paid for billboards in Philly to thank them.
That's awesome.
All around Philly.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I texted my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
You know, the guy that's a fucking asshole. He's always like, texting me Eagle shit. I texted him. I said, dude, this is pretty fucking awesome from Phillies fans.
Yeah.
And I said, but I'd be lying if I said, like, I would have thought it was hilarious, like, if they did that and then he went, like, 0 for 4. Like, that would have been better for me as a Met fan.
Yeah.
But
not would have been good for him. But no.
No, because it would have been great if they were booing him the next day.
Oh, yeah, because they would have lost their minds. You kidding me? We totally went out of our character, and this is what you do?
But, it's funny, because you talk about the feeling you felt.
I can't describe that in words. It was crazy.
In a good way, but also what really makes a difference, if you've ever witnessed fans turn on a team, you can feel that shit too. And a couple of years ago, we went to a Mets game in New York. This was the year, this wasn't last year, it was the year before, where the Mets were in first place till about August. And then they finished like 15 games out. And I happened to get there in August and see one of the games. And they were in a tight game with the Reds. The Reds were not good 2 years ago. They were in a tight game with the Reds. Bullpen guy comes in and he starts walking guys.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Walks the bases loaded. And like...
He walked the bases dry. Yeah. That's the quickest way to turn a fan base on you. Right
and then everybody started turning on him.
Yeah.
And then he walked in a run. And it was like...
He had 4 walks in a row?
No, I don't know if he had 4 walks in a row. But it was 2 years ago. But, that's he was folding right in front of us. and everybody starts booing, and I don't boo at a game. I won't do that.
Okay.
It just doesn't feel right, you know.
Okay.
Like the guy was trying to throw a strike.
Yeah.
He
he
literally
was trying
couldn't.
to walk him, yeah.
You know. And you could just feel him like wilting under the booze.
Oh.
And it's like I wanted to be like, we're fucking him up right now. Like, get a hold of yourselves. We don't want to give up all 4 of these bitches.
But you'd have got lynched.
Maybe.
Listen, I know what he's talking about.
But man, it feels ugly though. It's like, why are we doing this to our team?
I know what he's talking about. Boston has a problem with 2 of the fan bases, the Red Sox and the Bruins. They won't do that. They won't do it. There'll be a couple of boos here and there, but you won't see a whole crowd turn on a team. At least not the Red Sox and the Bruins. Now, the Celtics and the Patriots, different story. You fuck up around those fans, especially the Celtics ones. Oh, baby. Because the thing is, that fan base has seen nothing but greatness. That's all they know. So they know when it's bad and why. The Celtics.
But what about the Pats?
Well, the last 20, but those guys don't count because they didn't see. I'll tell you why they booed before. They booed before because management was incompetent, not because the players in the field didn't play hard.
So
they
it's
were
really
booing,
just one fan base then.
No, the Patriots when I'd say since Brady has left,
they boo.
They're booing Belichick, and it's growing. It's growing. It's growing.
Million strong.
It's growing.
And growing.
It's growing. Which I'll tell you right now, that's why the whole thing about not getting Hopkins was so bad for him. But I got news for you. If he knew something we didn't know, as in this little 5'8" rugrat is what everybody claims he is, and Tyquan Thornton, then maybe he has the guys, and they're younger, they're under rookie contracts, and look, the one thing about Belichick I will agree with, this guy from all accounts, Dan Harris, didn't like to practice. So as a coach, as a former coach, I don't like hearing that.
Yeah.
Okay, and even if you don't like to practice, you don't say it out loud.
You didn't like to practice?
DeAndre Hopkins does not like to practice. That's well known. I've actually done some research with it, and teammates, he's kind of a diva, but then he steps on the field and he performs, so everybody lets it go.
Does he not want to get hurt in practice, or is he just like, I don't feel
He
like
wasn't this way in the beginning as he's gotten a little older.
He's a little more fragile now, isn't he?
Well, he got suspended That's
true.
That wasn't an injury, but he's been pretty durable. But the thing is now they've scaled back practices to prevent. They've done a lot of things already. They don't do 2-a-days anymore. They've done a lot of things.
So you're saying it's not hard.
It's not as hard as it was when I was growing. I'm close.
But training camp, because I remember the last year when Strahan was like, I'm not coming to training camp.
Yeah.
And Coughlin was being a bit of a hard ass.
Yeah. And in Strahan's case, I think he earned that right, though. He's a veteran.
And he was fresh. He wasn't at home being lazy. He was working out.
No, Strahan was staying in shape. Yeah. He's a professional.
Right.
But see, this is where Coughlin, and we'll get back to baseball in a second, but this is where Coughlin messed up, and where kudos to Coughlin's wife for slapping him across the face. Because as a coach, look, there's always an exception to the rule, Bill Belichick. Okay? When you have a guy who has Strahan's resume, and I'm not talking about his performance, I'm talking about in the locker room, he works hard. By all accounts, he's not the dude that you think is going to take advantage of this. If he comes to you and says that, he means it.
Yeah.
And Coughlin should know that because he's his coach, and you got to know your personnel. So
it was one of those things like, I'm at the end of my career. I want to come back and play.
I want to be.
But I'm not fucking going through training camp another year. Fuck that.
No, not because guys. If you, to your point, in that sport, you got to preserve them.
Yeah.
So to less reps for those guys is better. I agree. So I'm not saying Hopkins was entirely wrong here, but I get why Belichick paused.
But you're saying you can understand.
I can understand. I can understand. And again.
And you had said that a while ago.
I had said it.
Before they didn't sign him, you said you didn't want them to.
Well, because I thought it might.
That came out of nowhere.
It wasn't that I thought. I thought it might stunt the growth of Tyquan Thornton, which it would have, if we're being honest. It would have.
But now you still got to hope that Thornton.
I think
hits.
Bill O'Brien is the perfect guy
for
this scenario, and every expert is saying what I'm saying. This guy has proved, and actually, you know who said it on Get Up on Friday?
Rex Ryan?
No, Taurasi. Diana Taurasi, the
basketball player?
The cute, no, not what's her name? Diana Rossini. The cute Italian football girl. She's.
I don't know if I know what she looks like.
Oh, you look her up, Diana Rossini. You'll know what she looks like pretty quick. She's cute. She said, "Look, Bill O'Brien's the one coordinator the Pats have had in the last 20 years that has a winning record without Tom Brady." She said that, which I was saying on this show weeks ago. Okay, he's proven whatever he has, he can win with. So he will figure out how to use Tyquan Thornton. And I got news for you. Here's the difference right here. Tyquan Thornton, given what happened so far in training camp, if Belichick was calling the shots, everything, he would have never suited up in that game.
Why?
Belichick wouldn't have put him on the field. I've seen him do this with other players. I've seen him do it.
To protect him as a first stringer,
No,
or
he's
just
mad at him.
Thornton?
Yeah. Well, Belichick thinks
What's he mad about?
He thinks, he doesn't say this, but he thinks most of these injuries can be prevented. And if you're in a contact sport, you're trying to catch the ball, you can't just defend yourself because you're trying to catch the ball first.
Right,
So if a guy gets blindsided, he can't prevent that.
Oh yeah, no.
So, and again, I don't know how this injury happened with
So
Thornton.
he's mad at him?
He's done this. He did it with other not just receivers but players in the past. Where if a guy's dinged up, he kind of overreacts. He overreacts. Whereas O'Brien, understanding what this kid's potential is, gets him in the first game. He needs those reps. Yeah. He's like, look, this is our home run hitter, whether you like it or not. Yeah. Okay, so we got to get him in the game and get him ready to go. Yeah. And if it's a couple of series here, but we got to get him ready so they can hit the ground running against Philly in Game 1. They got to have that kid against Philly to beat them. You want to beat Philly, you got to be able to do two things: run between the tackles, which the Pats can do. But what's Philly going to do? They're going to put 8 in the box. Well, if this kid's out there, they're not. And that's what O'Brien's banking on. If this kid's out there, Philly can't put 8 in the box and stop him.
Maybe they can, but you got to hope he can catch a deep ball.
Well, this is the thing. We know that he can. Yeah. And I said last year, the one thing that I saw about him was, and again, to me that offense was garbage. But whenever he was in the route, he got open and he caught the ball. I don't think he dropped one pass that was targeted. Not one.
How many catches did he have?
He had like 20-something catches. He had a couple hundred yards. He had 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
But again, it was fucking dick. It was dickhead fucking Patricia who didn't know how to use him.
Yeah.
O'Brien's not waiting. He knows what he is.
O'Brien's used to having speed.
Yes, he is
at Alabama,
and he knows what to do with it. And the thing is, this kid is 6'2.5". He's tall. That catch that he made the other night, that was all 6'2.5". That's what that was, okay? And the fact that he got both mitts on and he held on to it, see, that's something. Everybody talks about the play in the scene that Wes Welker dropped. If Wes Welker was 6'2", and he catches that ball.
Wes Welker 5'8"?
5'8".
Jeez.
Okay.
Have you seen this guy Deuce Vaughn for the Cowboys?
Yeah, he's like 5'3".
He looks like Muggsy
Bogues. And he's quick as a cat. He's like,
they said he was making people look stupid tonight.
He's quick. He's super quick.
When I see him in practice, I'm scared.
We'll get into football in segment 2, but back to the Sox. The thing is this: they win tomorrow. It's 5 out of 7, and they're 3 games back. So no worse over the weekend or after the weekend. If they win, they're no worse than 3 back. They're right in this thing with plenty of time.
Or if they win and the Cubs beat the Blue Jays
again, and the Cubs are in a pennant race. The Cubs are they're trying to fire. So yeah, the Jays could lose again. They could be 2 out. Think about what happened last weekend. They could be 2 out in a week. That would be monumentally huge.
And the Yankees, I'm looking it up real quick. They've lost a couple here.
Yeah, the Yankees.
They lost 2 out of 3 to the White Sox.
Did you see the bomb the Judge hit?
Was it last night?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
470 feet.
No, I
it
didn't
got out of
see
it.
that.
It left at like 113 miles an hour.
Oh, so the Yanks are still only a game back.
Because the Red Sox lost today.
Dude, I have to give the Yankees some credit.
Yeah, they're hanging around.
They're trash.
They're trash. Well, they're trash because. Let me ask you this though: if they weren't in that division, what would their record be?
I don't think it would be good, dude. The Mets.
It'd be better than it is.
The Mets split with them.
It'd be better than it is. I don't know how much better than it.
I don't think it would, dude.
I think it would be because they can't beat Toronto. They can't beat Tampa, and they've wiped their ass with them. In fact, I don't even know if they can beat Baltimore. Tampa, they've had trouble.
I know,
with
but Baltimore's beat the Astros. Just beat Baltimore.
The Astros are the best team, I think.
If you put the Yankees in the NL East
or the AL Central,
they would not be better.
Yeah, they would.
Not in the NL East. The Braves, the Phillies, the Marlins, and the Mets. The Mets split with them. The Yankees, I don't know. All I'm saying is I don't know how they're 3 over. Because their lineup.
Well, how are they doing it? Remember, they lost Judge for how long? He was out for a while.
I know. And their lineup sucks.
And that's the other thing. Before he got hurt, they were doing pretty well. So I don't know.
Let me read you some of the averages in the Yankee lineup.
It's not the Bronx Bombers.
It's awful.
Yeah, it's not the Bronx Bombers.
Okay, first baseman Jake Bauers, 223. Aaron Judge, 284. That's obviously the best one.
That's the best one.
Gleyber Torres, 271. That's actually high for Gleyber. Giancarlo, don't call me Mike Stanton, 206. Billy McKinney, another journeyman, 235. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, 253. Bader, 265. Those aren't bad.
Not bad.
Volpe's 210. Higashioka's 237. I mean, their pitching
They don't
has
have
kept
one.
them around.
Every contending team usually has one 300 hitter.
Not today.
Not today. The Red Sox
Not
have
today.
2. So
I wonder if the Phillies have any.
they got to have 1. Most of them have 1. The Yankees
Probably
being the
right.
exception. There might be another one. Seattle might be one that doesn't have one. But I'm just saying. Actually, I think Seattle has one too. But most of them have a 300 hitter. So if there's 10 teams getting in there, I would say 7 of the 10 have a 300 hitter in their lineup. 7 of the 10.
Dude, that sounds high to me.
I don't think it is.
Let's look at Philly.
So to me, and again, this is who.
Philly doesn't have one.
Okay. That's 2.
But they've got a 290. They've got close.
How many do they have close?
288.
Yeah.
292.
Yeah.
282.
Okay.
299.
So they got 4 guys
So,
over 280. That's
299.
That's right.
That could end this
Yeah,
year at
that's
300.
Right. He's right there.
You know.
So I'm saying they usually got 1 at least.
But
that's
it's
not
different.
bad. The Yankees said by comparison
It's
sounds
not bad,
way
but
worse.
It's so crazy because that 20 years ago was not like that.
No.
You could have a guy hitting 350. Albert Pujols, he was like a 330 to 350 hitter.
If we're being fair here, pitching staffs are very, very different now. Most starters don't go 100 pitches or 90 pitches. And the bullpens are better, so they're seeing fresher pitching later in the game.
That's a good point.
So that's been going on for a while now. So I mean, back when we were growing up, they had guys that 7 innings was the minimum. The bare minimum was 7 innings. I mean, so for a starter.
Milwaukee,
Yeah.
240, 269, 279, 234, 250, 242, 222, 159, 219.
What's their record?
I mean, they're leading the Central.
How good's the Central?
I'm going through.
What's the record in the Central?
I mean,
1 game over?
No, they're 10.
Yeah. And who's after them?
The Reds.
I think the Yankees are better than the Reds. I'll tell you that. I don't know about Milwaukee, but the Reds.
Right now, the Reds will beat the Yankees 2 out of 3. Now,
I don't know about that.
start of the year. All right, now I'm looking at the Dodgers. Freddie Freeman, 342.
Yeah, you know the Dodgers have.
There's that one.
Yeah, 1. But look at they probably got guys at 290 and 280 like the other team.
1 at 279. That's the closest.
Where's Mookie Betts?
Oh, Mookie's not in the lineup.
Yeah, where's Mookie? Mookie's
know.
not 279.
I wonder what Mookie is betting.
I don't have my tablet right here.
Give me a Mookie.
Mookie. Mr.
Mookie.
Betts. Hey, Mookie. You're the best damn hitter in baseball. Leadoff hitter in baseball. If we look for Mookie Pookie with us out of Baduki. Where is he? Technology boys and
He's
girls.
286.
286, all right.
It's not bad.
No.
I might have given wrong stats.
But I'm just saying that most of these teams, most of the contenders, not all, but most of them have at least 1 guy. So
At least.
yeah. So anyway, look, the Red Sox are within striking distance. Chris Sale, I think, could be if he continues, because now that's going back to the last 6 starts he had before. That's 7 good starts in a row, going back to when he got hurt. And again, he was off 10 weeks and he came in and did that. So that's pretty impressive for a guy who's been off for 10 weeks. So we'll see if he's the shot in the arm they need. Now look, the one thing that is discerning here in this homestand, their offense against subpar pitching has not been what their offense has been. So that's kind of starting to scare me, because they need to get back to being, and I said, their offense had to stay status quo where they are. They're not going to, I said 2 things had to happen. Offense, stay where you are, but they had to find a way to get that collective team ERA below 4. And again, that may not happen, but if their offense stays where it is and Chris Sale gives them, it looks like Chris Sale the rest of the year, this guy, then they're going to have a chance. So, but they can't be dipping against subpar pitching. These are guys you got to plaster. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But right now, if they win tomorrow, they're 5-2, and they're 3 back. If, to his point, Toronto loses again tomorrow to the Cubs, who are coming, who'd be in the playoffs if the season started tomorrow.
Coming around the mountain.
Coming around the mountain. If the Cubs can do their job, the Red Sox could be 2 out tomorrow night. Who would have thought that after what happened last weekend? Or 2 weeks ago, rather, in Fenway. So look,
What happened?
They got swept by the Jays.
Yeah.
The Jays came in and swept
Oh.
them. They blasted them 25-8 in 3 games.
Was that
It was the Jays.
final game where they
13-0 or whatever.
I'm sorry, the middle game where they had the
run,
double play.
where they could have won the game and the guy overran the
Well, at least they can turn around some adversity.
I'm saying, well, they haven't given up, to their credit. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Anyway, we're going to do it for segment 1. When we come back, segment 2, talk football. A lot of things to talk about. Preseason, our teams both are in the books. We're going to go over the Giants and the Patriots, things that he took away from it, things I took away from it. A lot of good stuff, a lot of overreaction, some overreaction. And what?
The Twins, division leader, the highest batting average on their team, 230.
They must have the best pitching in all of baseball.
Yikes, they have very good pitching.
They must have the best pitching in all of baseball because you're not getting away with that.
No team has had 300 hitters of the.
That's crazy.
Of the contenders.
That's crazy.
That's insane. But here comes Baltimore.
Baltimore doesn't?
I'm getting them right now. No, 282 is their highest.
Wow.
The way they cover Baltimore, you'd think they all hit 380.
Well, yeah, the way they've been playing. What about Tampa?
Tampa, so Texas, nobody over 3. I would have thought they did. Tampa.
No, none of these teams have a 300 hitter.
It's crazy.
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, like 4 of them do. Cubs did, Phillies did, Dodgers did, Braves do, but only one. Actually, Phillies had 299.
Yeah. So there's 5 and 1 at 299.
No, not 5.
Well, you said 5.
No. I said 3 or 4.
You said the Braves. You said
the Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
I said the Phillies. But not really the Phillies.
Who the fuck was it?
Tampa has. Tampa has 1.
1. There's 4. The Red Sox have 2.
But they're not in the.
No, but they're 3 back. I mean, they're contenders. I think.
But they're not top.
They're not
top 8.
Top 10, whatever it is.
Top 7.
Well,
Houston's got to have.
I would think Houston would have 1.
No. 297's their highest. I mean, that's close.
This is crazy.
It's wild, isn't it?
I would never have picked that.
Seattle 266.
Seattle, I didn't think would. They're not known for their hitting.
Toronto's
got to have somebody.
Well, I think Bichette is over 3, but that might be the only.
Because they're in right now.
Yeah, it's Bichette at
321. So they've got 1. All right, so they would be.
They've got 321 and 297. So they're the closest to 2. And Vladimir Guerrero's a 300 hitter, and he's having a down year.
But I'm saying they would be in if the playoffs started tomorrow. So I'd say 5 or 6, not 7. But anyway. And again, that's kind of an anomaly because usually these other.
That's across the whole league. That's
crazy. That's nuts. So anyway, that's interesting. It's worth bearing, But like I said, this plays into what I said.
Oh my God!
This plays into my what? Who?
Sox have 1 right at 300.
Yeah, because he's Verdugo.
Yoshida.
Yeah. But Verdugo was over 500 or over 300. Yeah, he's dropped.
260.
Yeah, he's gone way down. He's had a slump up past month. Yeah.
Turner's at 286.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch, man.
I'm saying that feeds into my point, though, about how pitching is different now where the starters don't go as far so they don't get gassed. You have fresh pitching comes in, and these middle week bullpens are better now. They're getting fresh pitching in the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning when they start to get to a starter back when we were growing up. So it's harder, at least in recent memory. Yeah. You're seeing better pitching later in the game. It's not just the closers before you get to
definitely more velocity.
So, I mean, look, the setup guy, when I was growing up, I never talked about the setup guy. Now he's an important part. The guy that gets you 7, 8, 2 innings before you get to the close or whatever. That guy didn't exist or was never talked about. Now he has a significant role.
When do you think the setup guy became a thing? Like 2000?
Whenever they started putting pitch counts on these guys, on the starters, then the bullpen right there, the whole bullpen became important. Not that it was never important before, of course it is. But where they were saying, all right, they figured out, look, these guys are getting to the guy later in the innings. And while he's getting tired, and he's more susceptible in the 6th and 7th inning than he would be in the first 5.
Right.
So now they read it. How's he doing through 5? If he looks really good in 5, they'll let him go 6 or 7. If he's kind of shaky, they get him out of there.
Or no, they have advanced statistics that say the 3rd time through the order, this guy gets shelled, so we're never going to let him go.
Yeah.
That's typically what a lot of this shit is. It's the analytics that say, once this guy gets past 60 pitches, or once this guy is seen by a hitter more than twice, you can't let him keep going.
And that may very well be true. Yeah. Obviously, the stats are there for these. They're not pulling out of thin air. These are stats. They're proven.
Yeah.
So again,
it's all probability.
But that right there is when this whole thing, in terms of the importance of the middle relief and the setup guy to get to the closer. Yeah. The closer's always been important. You got to get that guy to get 3 or 6 outs. But now it's all about getting to him. But how do you bridge the gap between the starter and that guy? And that's become very important. Yeah. All right. So, and clearly it's manifested itself. And look at some of these teams that are contenders and their averages. Mm-hmm. So clearly that's what these guys are seeing. Fresher pitching later in games. It's harder to get to these teams. And they're doing a better job in terms of matching, going, lefty for lefty, righty for however they're fucking doing it. Okay. But those analytics have played a big role in that. That's where it came from. So, that's weird. When we look at these contenders that got one guy, when they used to have 2 or 3.
Before we sign off, real quick. We were talking earlier about cheering guys on, booing fan bases.
Yes.
This week, Boomer Esiason said the Mets had an issue because our fan base is toxic, and he's right. And then Sal Licata, another guy.
Sounds like a pasta dish. Sal Licata. Get some licata with that.
Let me get a Sal Licata. Could you put a little extra Parmesan on that?
A little extra asshole on the side.
Yeah.
Sal Licata.
He comes out this week and says, he's a WFAN guy.
Yeah.
Last year he got a lot of heat because when the Mets were up 10 games, he went on the radio and said, "And at least is over."
Oh, he jumped the gun.
And Braves pitchers, when they clinched, a guy on the Braves went on Twitter the moment they clinched and said, "And at least is over, huh?"
Oh, damn.
First of all, that guy's a douchebag for doing that. But Sal Licata.
Actually, that guy is a genius because he was probably one telling the locker room, this asshole thinks it's over. You can say all you want, but if he's doing
he's
that,
a fucking bullpen
that means
pitcher. Shut up and go win it.
You
didn't win the World Series.
I'm not saying
you got beat by the Phillies in the first round because you were worried about some fucking radio personality douchebag.
Well, clearly the whole team knew about it.
Yeah, and that's why they lost in the first round because they were worried about being petty.
Well,
win a championship.
Well,
you guys have been like the Patriots, except you couldn't win a fucking championship.
Well, that's why they're not like the Patriots. But anyway, the bottom line.
They won 2 in the last 40 years of dominance. Maybe 25.
25. They should have won
better
more
than the Mets.
They should have won more.
No, but my point is, Sal Licata went on the radio this week and said the Mets clubhouse is toxic and Pete Alonso's part of that problem.
Now, yes. I'm glad you brought this up because we talked about this off the air. Now, I don't know them like you do, but I've been following this Alonso guy because he speaks very highly of him. We actually have a bowl with his name on it here for a reason, and we're going to probably use him. We're going to probably use him in between segment 1 and 2. But the bottom line is, because of this, we're going to do this. We're going to do it with Pipe Alonso. But anyway, the bottom line is, by all accounts, this dude is the perfect guy in your locker room. He's a great teammate. He's a hard worker. He's unselfish. He holds himself accountable. He's the antithesis of what this clown is saying. He is.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Based on, I've seen nothing, not one ripple from one teammate. And again, I don't know the way he knows him. But in the research I was doing just on Alonso, teammates' comments about him saying, they all speak very highly of him.
Yeah.
So where the fuck is this coming from?
Well, the thing is, it wasn't a type of comment where he tried not to make an accusation, but he just like dropped a bomb. Like he said, the Mets clubhouse is toxic, and Pete Alonso's part of the problem. No, there's no sources.
Where the fuck does
no sources.
Yeah,
he's just looking at the team from afar and saying this.
You can't look. I know we don't get everything right on this show, but we don't just come out and say something like that either. No. We might be off on a stat or something like that, but we don't come out and go, "Hey, this guy."
We have no reach.
I don't care. We have 33 subscribers.
This guy's on one of the most listened to sports talk
Which
show
means
stations.
If we don't do it here, he definitely shouldn't be doing it there because his platform is much bigger.
It was a stupid comment.
It's a stupid, ignorant, non-professional, I might add, comment. That's just trying to stir up controversy.
It is. He's trying to get clicks.
That's crap.
What they do now is they put that clip on Instagram. They put that clip on Twitter, and they get views.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's like,
and if I'm the
Pete Alonso wanted to win a World Series this year.
Yes, he did.
He wanted to win it last year. He wanted to win it the year before that.
He's pissed as hell they've underachieved, and he blames
they've blown up the whole team.
And he blames himself, by the way.
They can't win. They've got 4 AAA guys
that
in the
shouldn't
lineup
be there.
That should not prospects, guys that are taking up spots in the minors are playing in the team.
To prevent the guys that can be from going to arbitration sooner.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, makes sense if you're the Mets front office, but still.
Forgive the team if the culture looks bad in the clubhouse.
Yeah, Pete Alonso did nothing to initiate that.
This is done by the fucking trade deadline blow-up. Yeah. That's why it looks so bad. And obviously, maybe the chemistry was off this year.
Here's what I would say.
They were losing a lot.
Here's what I would say, and I talked about this when
locker rooms suck when you lose.
I'm saying Pete Alonso, like every other person, is human. Last time I checked, and if you're a competitor, and I'm saying you're trying to freaking win a World Series, all of a sudden the front office does a 180 on you.
We're not going to go for it.
Yeah, I got news for you. I'd cut him some slack on this. And I'd cut everybody in that locker room some slack who's a competitor, because I said to him last time, this flies in the face of everything they've been taught and believe. And so how do you expect him to just make a smooth transition because he makes a lot of money? That's bullshit. Now you're taking the human element out of it, and that's not possible when you're dealing with human beings.
Listen to this.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Listen to this. So last weekend, he said this, I don't know, 2 days ago. At the beginning of this week, Mets played 3 games against the Cubs. Mm-hmm. Alonso hit 4 bombs in that series.
Yeah.
And the Mets won 2 out of 3.
Because he's a toxic clubhouse cancer.
What the fuck are you talking about? You want to get rid of that? You want to get rid of that guy?
I'm saying this. What's his name? Lasagna? What's his name?
Yes. Chicken piccata. Sal Licata.
Hey, Lalosah. Do Mets Nation a favor. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. And this is coming from a Red Sox fan. Shut the fuck up. Because honestly, that's fucking, and again, I would assume, because the Mets have some passionate fans, just like the Boston fans.
Everybody's crushing
it. Yeah, and they should be. And I do, because that wouldn't fly in Boston either. If somebody said that about fucking Devers or somebody like that, they'd fucking kill him. They'd fucking kill him. They'd be on every fucking talk show blasting him with every incoming call, which I'm sure is what these Mets fans are doing, and they should be. But you know what? Seriously, shut the fuck up, pal, and go away. If that's the best you can do for a story, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing anyway. Okay? Just get the fuck out of here with that crap. Don't ruin my fucking set with your bullshit. Okay? I can't. This guy's already depressed enough. Now I gotta put up with your shit.
Exactly.
Okay? So do Mets Nation a favor. Forget me. Shut the fuck up. Have a Coke and a smile and cram it up your crack. And just wait for fucking preseason and training camp and all that bullshit.
That actually goes really well because Pete's nickname is the Polar Bear. Polar Bear also happens to be a spokesperson or spokesanimal for Coca-Cola.
Or Coca-Cola.
So, Coke and a smile.
Coke and a smile.
Shut up,
sit down, shut the fuck up, Lascata, Lascam, whatever the fuck your name is.
The Mets cannot afford
Lalosah. We'll call him Lalosah.
Since Pete Alonso came into the league, I believe it was 2019, no one's hit more home runs than him.
Oh, yeah, we got to dump him.
That's all you need
dump
to know.
him like third period French.
And the Mets have a problem hitting home runs.
Yeah, absolutely. He's
let's get rid of him
tomorrow. In fact, I'll buy his plane. We get him out of here.
When in a day and age where you win by hitting home runs, the Mets don't hit home runs.
According to Lug Nuggets up there, yeah, absolutely. Fucking seriously, sit down and shut the fuck up. Anyway, that's gonna do it for segment 1. We're gonna find Pipe Alonso.
Jedi DD.
Jedi DD. We'll come back segment 2, preseason. Want to see his first impressions of the G-Men. Talk about the Patriots. Well, some underreaction, some serious overreaction. Let's cool it with the third string quarterback, America. And we will see you on the other side.